Hey there, Flo here. Taking you on another adventure. This one will probably be pretty short. While there are infinite boulders basically everywhere in this area, I'm only stopping at ones that stand out to me, either where I see them from the road while driving, like this one here, or if I have them marked on the map already and they're not too far away from the road that I'm on, I might stop for some of them. This one, primarily going to this big boulder over here. And so this might be kind of a quick one. I sort of hope in the back of my mind that I don't see a bunch of other cool stuff, just because these unplanned stops distract me from my actual destination. But they're worthwhile though. I don't regret stopping. So here's the large boulder pile that I saw from the road. This one does not have a number yet because I didn't have it marked. It's quite an overhang here. I think I'm going to get a reference photo of that rock right there. Just has some interesting colors in it, sort of like rust almost, or I don't know how to describe it. That's the problem. I can't even describe it, so gotta get a picture, otherwise it's hopeless. In that last hike, I actually saw some pine needles that were more of the red color. Like these ones here are like light brown, not really red per se, or really that colorful, kind of dull. But every once in a while they're like almost red, quite bright, sort of a dark red actually, but just not the color you would expect pine needles to be necessarily. Alright, this might be a little bit challenging to get up. Just looking for a good foothold and handhold. Which there's not a lot. There's a nice foothold up here, but I can't. These pants are very inflexible, so it's hard for me to get up to those high spots without ripping my pants. Okay, there we go. Yeah, it's almost a mini crater. Oh, I see a cool thing behind me, and this tree is awesome. This is actually a pretty cool situation here. So, let's give this a number. Yeah, this is basically a crater. I would call this a crater. It has like a ring around it. Alright, let's see what the number I need to assign. Hopefully I haven't assigned this number yet. Okay, we're going to call this B1342A. Alright, let me follow this along. I'll get a few more pictures around this, what I am going to call a crater. I don't like the footing here, because I don't know if this rock will move on me. Looks pretty stable. This is quite a sudden drop here, and this rock looks like it could move, so I have to be extra careful here. It's actually pretty sturdy, I think, until it moves. Let's call this B1342B. This is a good angle here with this crater. Alright, let's see if I can get around. So one thing I was thinking I could talk about is one thing I could talk about occasionally is just shouting out other streamers or content creators. I've never been a no self-promo type channel in my live streaming hobby, so if people talk about what they do, I'm actually very interested to know. I don't see anybody as competition. We're all just friends and, you know, have common things in common, and we can talk about without feeling like we're challenging each other. I don't see the need for keeping that pretense. I enjoy meeting other people and stuff. And anyway, so yeah, I've been live streaming for 4 years. I've been on a long break, like over 3 months now, but this is cool looking. So I have quite a few friends that I've made over the last 4 years on various platforms. One friend that I've been watching fairly regularly is my friend KameHameDouken. It's a long name, but I just call him Kame, which is what most people call him. K-A-M-E. Anyway, he's on a lot of different platforms. I met him on DLive, and we've both been multi-streaming to various platforms ever since. But alright, let's call this B1342C. And the reason he came to mind is because lately he started up a Bible study on Sunday evenings. I would give more information about the time, but I don't know if he keeps a super tight schedule. And he's also in a different time zone than I am, so I get kind of confused. I subscribe to his channel, and I just sort of watch for the notifications, and if I remember, I try to tune in on Sunday evenings. Anyway, it's pretty cool because I've been wanting to find some way to connect with other believers in a church-like setting in the evenings, because sadly this really annoys me. It actually makes me kind of angry. I'm very annoyed, definitely. I don't know if it's real anger, but back when I was a kid, basically all churches had evenings services, like on Sunday, and a lot of them had Wednesday night services also. And I don't know what happened in the church, but one church decided to not do it anymore for whatever reason, and then everyone else followed that same example or pattern, and it's just, now there's hardly any churches in the entire country that have evening services. in my state, or just in my area, whatever, there's basically none. I've searched and searched, and there's just none. The only ones that have evening services are usually giant churches that have multiple services, and I'm just not into big churches, really. Okay, so let's call this 1342D. Anyway, I'm very disturbed and annoyed that churches don't have evening services, because to me, that's when most of the spiritual stuff happens. Like, usually in the morning, people just kind of go through the motions because they're not really awake, or they're just not ready to change themselves or take in a life-changing sermon or be challenged. And usually the sermons are also more tame in the mornings. And I don't think that's just me. I know I'm not a morning person, but I think even morning people, just as a general rule, they're just not ready to, have massive spiritual growth via community. It's more like a social thing rather than a great spiritual awakening. And the times that I've been to evening services, it's been super powerful. I've seen lives changed, including my own, and just people are really open to the movement of the Spirit in the evenings more so than the morning for whatever reason. And so it really irritates me that churches got rid of those. I feel like they pretty much destroyed their own potential by doing that. Oh, I wish I could get an angle of that. I guess I'll step down here. Anyway, it was kind of a blessing to find out that Kame was going to do those Bible studies, because I've been looking or hoping for something in the evenings. I was even thinking of doing something like that myself. And I've tinkered a little bit with spiritual things on my stream in the past. And I'll continue to do so, and I never shy away from the things I believe in and feel are important to say. But I'm not really a leader type, nor am I a good speaker. That's just not really my spiritual gift. Or at least it hasn't been revealed to be such. Let's see, I don't know what letter I'm on. Probably E. That's what I'll go with. I'll call this B1342E once I get to the top of it. Alright. Anyway, in everything that I do spiritually, it's not to make a name for myself. It's not to impress anyone at all. I don't care about that stuff. But I do feel like each of us who are part of the body of Christ or the church has spiritual gifts that we should be using, and we should also be making the name of Jesus known, because he is our master and Lord, and he's the one that saved us, and others should get a chance to know about him through us. That's just the only way that there is for people to know, generally. That's how God works in these days. He doesn't generally just show up and reveal himself in a miraculous way like you may read in the Bible, at least not typically. I mean, it's not like he can't do that, but anyway, he created the church to be the new revelation of, his presence on earth, and we're supposed to be representing him and sharing our faith with others and all that. Anyway, I wanted to start a church on D-Live a couple of years ago, and I felt like maybe I was called to do that, but I wasn't in a good spot, like mentally. I was just very discouraged, and maybe I should have done it anyway. Maybe it was disobedience, I don't know, But I just wanted there to be a church. I wanted Jesus to be represented in the community that I was part of, because I did not really see him well represented. Like, people spoke of him, and they would do odd things that really don't well represent him, and I just, can't judge anybody, but I just wanted to see a good representation of him and an opportunity for people in the community to hear about him and stuff. And anyway, so I didn't care if it was me. I just wanted it to happen, somebody to do it. I even talked to one guy on D-Live. I sent him a message. I don't know if he ever got it, but saying, maybe you could do this or whatever. He was already kind of doing spiritual stuff. Anyway, but I was pretty happy to see Kame doing that. I think he's a good, solid guy, and I'm going to be praying for him and trying to be part of the community that he forms if I can. Just to be there. I don't really need to be anybody of importance. But it's good for me, and I think it's good for the community as well, so I'm pretty happy about that. I'll leave a link. I'll try to remember to leave a link in the comments to his various channels in case you want to tune in or check it out. I won't always be there. I can't promise that. Depends on what I'm up to, but if I'm able, I'll try to be part of it. So yeah, I think I'm done with these boulders and done with this hike pretty much. So I will see you guys soon. I'm going to find the next place up the road and start it up again. So thanks for joining me. I will see you in a bit. Guess I could call this B1342F or something. I can't remember what letter I'm on, but yeah, why not?